G'day guys, welcome back to another video with Enno here from Fantasy Take TV. Continuing on the power rankings that I started the other day in the defence. If you haven't seen that, just go and check it out. Link should be in the description or at the end of the video. But yeah, just continuing the midfield here. This is, it's probably one of the toughest lines. There's a lot of guys here that you could see scoring anywhere from 115 to 120, and obviously a few guys over that mark. But yeah, really hard group to rank. Obviously, I probably know the core sort of 10 to 12 guys that I think will be around the mark. But yeah, putting them in an order, you got to try and nitpick these guys, and there's not a lot wrong with many of them. So yeah, it's a tough task. Not sure what the intro would be to this video because the last one I did, probably what's called a boomer in technology sense. But yeah, shout out to Hammy. I think he's sorting something out for me. So yeah, we'll see what it is, and I'll get all that sorted for the year, so I don't have to worry about that. But yeah, first midfielder, first one off the rank, it's Jack Mcrae. We've seen it for 4 years. He's just a tick under 700,000, which on another note is a bit annoying. It'd be very aesthetic if it was just 700 flat, but yeah, average 125 for 4 years straight now, and only missed one or two games. It's a crazy consistency. The year just gone, only dipped under the ton once. I think it was 97, and that's probably what stopped him getting the 130 average that he would have got. He's just consistent as ever. He doesn't have those huge scores like the 150 pluses, but he's 120 nearly every damn week. Finds the ball at ease, uses it well. Got that little chip left foot sandwich that he's got going that hits the target more often than not. And yeah, he's just always there, an absolute ball magnet. So Jack Mcrae's my number one. And the only man that I can see pipping him would be the next man that's number two there, and that's Jack Steele. Just a super player. Since that breakout year a couple of years ago, I owned him in 2020, and for whatever reason didn't get him in last year. Just never had the chance. But yeah, he's unbelievable player. Tackles hard. Tries to carry that team as best he can on his back, and he scores in a different way to Mcrae, and he can go, very big at times. But he's also, you would say, his floor is a little bit lower than Mcrae. So last year they ended up averaging quite similar, 126 to 128. But that's due to Steele. He can, and he did start a little bit slow and drop some sub tons, but he can go a lot larger too. So that sort of evens out in the end. But he's only getting better in his prime of his career. If he gets just an ounce of help, I can see him pushing 130, to be honest. So yeah, super player. Those two probably don't need much more to talk about there. The man I think I had down as number 3 would be Clary. Just got to respect what he's done for again, probably 3 or 4 years now himself. He's the one of this 3 that has been prone to a tag in the past, and that's what keeps him down. And when I say down, I mean, not at the heights of these two, but, at the level or being able to be picked up at points in the year at a cheaper price. I know, yeah, he got Matt DeBoer, I think, last year around 6 and dropped to 60. So, gave us, who didn't have him, an opportunity to get him around 600k. And if you get a man like that at that price, you got to slap it up. So, yeah, he's the one guy. If you were to choose out of these 3 not to start, it would be him. But God, there really is no right or wrong answer there. They can all go on massive runs, and Clary's shown that huge ceiling that we see every year against Adelaide. So, yeah, super player, unbelievable season last year, and he's only 24, so it's only going to continue. It's scary to think that he has upside, really. So, yeah, I think those 3 for me are pretty clear. And then it starts to get a bit different. We've got, I'm going to throw Titch, Took, and probably Bont in the next bracket here, and trying to rank them is quite tough. But I'm going to go with Titch as the number 4. Just based off the back half of last year, seen him get back to his best. And if that's any sign of him, got the runs in his back in his legs after that leg break, the sky's the limit for this guy. We saw him average 130 in his Brownlow year. I don't think he can get quite back up to that, but 120, 125 is in the range for him, and yeah, he's just an absolute pig. So obviously a little bit of, if you were to think of a concern, it would be the Hawks and the rebuild they're in, and the new coach Sammy Mitchell. Does he want to sort of let Tom Mitchell get 40 touches a week? But I think he just does that anyway. I don't think there's a way you can really stop him doing that sort of stuff. So yeah, it was tough. Ranking him between Bont and Took, I think I just have him just with the runs on the board that we've seen in the past. More than a Took, but Took I will put here at 5, just for what we saw and just the way he plays. Just unbelievable running machine. I remember the game I went to watch as a Tigers man, Gold Coast at Marvel, and the bloke had about 12 touches in 5 minutes, and that's not an exaggeration, and he was absolutely everywhere. He was getting that ball in the back pocket and had about 4 touches in one chain that led to a goal at the other end, and just did not stop running, and no one could go with him. So seeing that firsthand, and obviously the season he put together, especially in the back half, it's just sort of a not bulletproof, but in a way that game style, that way he plays, I don't see how he doesn't score well. So definitely a 120 plus is in the realms for him. Does he get more attention now that he's sort of broken out as an option? Maybe. Rao coming back can only help him. Obviously they lost Greenwood in there, but yeah, I think he'll still need some support. But yeah, him showing commitment to the club that he did, I just think that's a great sign, and he's a really motivated player, it seems, to do well. So got Took at number 5. The Bont I put here at number 6. Again, he's shown the ceiling. We saw it for the first half of last year. And I think George had said it too, that when he copped that shoulder knock, he just wasn't the same. Was sort of, I don't want to say coasting through games, but he couldn't do what he was doing the first half so brilliantly. So fully fit, the Bont's super dangerous, can get forward, kick goals, scores in all types of ways himself as well. Does a lot of the, as we know, champion data things that they love, knock-ons, loose ball gets, that sort of stuff, goal assists, all that sort of champion data stuff that they rate really highly. Bont does well, so he doesn't need to get 30 a week. He can score very well with 20s, which also, does help his floor a bit. But he is prone to a bad game every now and then when he maybe parks forward more than you'd like, or there's just so many other dogs mids that can get off the chain. He can drop a report score, but he's obviously got the massive ceiling as well. So does it in all sorts of ways, Bont, and I've got him at number 6 for that reason. Next man I've got is quite a bit of value this season, and that is Lachie Neale. Haven't heard a bad thing about this man during the preseason. Looks absolutely fit and firing to go, as every Lions player has, to be honest. But we saw it for a couple of years. First season at the Lions went 120, and then that obviously massive Brownlow year with the 2020 scoring. I will always say that. So 136 is probably a little bit overs as to what he did, but I definitely think he can get back to that 120. Just comes down to how the setup looks around him. There looks to be a lot of guys going to give him some support this year. They want to throw Rayner in there, Zach Bailey in there more. Obviously, Lyons is still around. Zorko's probably the man that's moving out, so he's still going to be the big dog in there, and had a full preseason, which is what we want to hear. So yeah, I think he's a top 8 mid, fully fit, and so I've got him at number 7 here for this season. Number 8. More of a, probably not a left field one really after we saw what he did last year, but that is Darcy Parish, after I just clear out a bit of the forward line here. But he looks fine. It's probably a little bit of recency bias after seeing what he did today in the intra-club, but his ceiling's massive and does the stuff that, again, like Bont, champion data, contest the ball, can get forward, kick goals, and just an absolute ball magnet. We saw him win 3 medals last year in footy games, and yeah, absolute crazy ball winner. So as long as he gets the mid-time that we want him to and that you think he should get, I see him being pretty much a top 8 midfielder or close to it. So it's probably not a smoky pick anymore to go with this guy. He's only in 5% of sides. It could be a nice differential. As much as we don't want to actively look for them, he might be a very good one to go with early. The only thing is, did Essendon overachieve last year? They probably get the harder fixture now after finishing in the 8. But they're on the improve, so any support around him he can get would only help. So, got Parish at number 8. Number 9, I had the other... Where is he? Melbourne man, the Norm Smith winner, and that is Super Wog, I like to call him, but Christian Petrago. Unbelievable season he had. He's in 11% of size. I didn't realise that it was kind of at that point, but he had a great season, especially the back half. I did trade him in at sort of a discounted price and reaped the rewards of some massive games. He had a 170, I think, against Port and a couple of other 140s, 150s. So he's got that ceiling. But again, a bit like your Bond, a bit like your Parish, maybe they kind of have a floor that's lower than others just because, well, in Petrago's case, he can butcher the ball a bit at times, which is quite frustrating. But if he puts it all together, his ceiling is absolutely untapped. So, if he can fix the ball use up consistently, which I think he started to do towards the back end of last year, then really I can see him pushing towards a 120 player, which, I mean, there's so many guys that you feel he can do that these days, but he definitely can. He definitely can. Had an unbelievable final series, especially the grand final, of course, and Melbourne, most of their players are all in their prime, him included, so would not surprise me to see him jump even higher than where I've got him here and push into the top 5 or 6 mids. So got the track there. Obviously, we've got to be aware. I know that Walsh is out for a bit now, so he would have slotted in somewhere around this mark, maybe a little higher for me. But obviously got to push others up with that news, which is unfortunate of him missing the first month. But Rory Laird, I've got to pay respects to of his sort of last third of the season, or maybe even last half of the season that he had. Went on an absolute tear. Just really carried that midfield, and he does get some guys back like Crouch and whatnot to start this year. So does it hurt him ceiling a bit? I think it can only help him. I always think that an extra guy in there that can help you do the dirty work doesn't mean that it's all on you to back it up week in, week out. So if Laird can just get a little bit of a chop out in there, doesn't mean he'll get all the attention and means he can go about his business, because he's been really super since playing bulk midfield. So I think he'll be around the mark, definitely top 10 for me. Whether it's 8, 9 or 10 or can he push up into the top bracket, it's probably unlikely, but yeah, I definitely think he's around the 115 again. I'll probably look for a 11th here, just for why not. Callum Mills is one that is still dealing with that Achilles, which is quite annoying for him and for Swans. But I would probably put Jared Lyons here at number 11 just to pay respect of what he's done the last couple of years. I think he went 112 and now 117, which is really good. But he is just hurt by Neil, and his if he's fully fit and in the side, that he does hurt his ceiling. So I think Lyons is more around your 112 to 115 again, and could easily slot back into the top 10 again, and like he was last year, and surprise us. It's just, not someone I think that has a lot of upside at his price and that we'd think about starting. So they're my top 10 or 11 midfielders for this season, and after the AAMI games, let's see where I have them after then. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.